Hi, everyone. I'm Chris, and I'm doing a personal project. I am actually using some tarot cards to create a story for Gay Pride Month. So happy Gay Pride. I'm using a deck called the Gay Tarot. I'm actually not very comfortable with this deck, not because of gay, but just because I don't really, the deck hasn't quite spoken to me yet. I haven't really done a lot of readings with it. So that's the only reason why. It's by Lee Bursten and Antonella Platano. I am using the tarot spreads from, where am I using the tarot spreads from? KarmaStarTarot.com. She did a challenge to help writers get some writer's block or not get some, but to clear some writer's block. And she made 30 spreads about how to kind of get those wheels rolling for NaNoWriMo, the challenge against yourself to write a 50,000 word novel in a month every November. So I'm just kind of going through using a tarot deck for Pride Month and seeing what comes out. I'm doing it live because I just want to show you a authentic tarot reading as much as possible. And I am fairly new at it, but I'm enjoying it, and hopefully this will help you. And also, what I'm going to say is that if any of you get the idea or something to use this as a writing prompt for yourself, go for it. I am not copywriting this at all. I'm not going to steal it from you. And if I do happen to try to steal it from you, just show me this video, and I will have to back off because there is video evidence of me saying that. So. With that being said, we're doing day 5, which for me is going to be the dynamic cast spread. Now, in the Karma Star Tarot, it's actually day 3, but I'm kind of mixing these up only because I work a little bit differently and with creating my story. So, quick recap: we have found that Sage, he is. I think this is a dystopian story. And he has just had his heart broken, and he wants to go someplace like a factory, or I don't know. We haven't gotten that far in the story, but there is a place or an option that people can go to skip hurt feelings. And so someone's hurt his feelings, and he wants to go. He feels stuck, and he wants to kind of get past that. So with that being said, I've given him the Sage of Wands as our signifier for him. So we're going to put him up at the top. And I should say that even though you can't see the spreads, I'm going to try to put them on my Instagram and on my Facebook. Or no, I'm sorry, not my Facebook, my website on the blog portion, and try to do like a written version of this so that you guys can follow along and kind of see what I'm seeing. And also, if you want to interpret the cards differently, and you see something different, that is all perfectly fine. You don't have to see what I'm seeing, and I don't have to see what you see. It's just all a matter of interpretation. I'm just kind of showing you some examples about how to cure some of your writer's block if you happen to have some. So we're going to create a dynamic cast today, and I have my deck, and I'm going to shuffle it, just like I've always been doing. Today we are creating... What are we creating? Family members, friends, and work associates. It is a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, 16 cards. It's a long one. So what I'm doing is I have the signifier up at the front. And I have 6 cards that are going to be going on underneath it. And underneath those 6 cards will be 3 cards, 3 cards, I believe. One card, I have a thing here, and I've done this once before for myself, and I put clarifiers if needed. So I'm actually putting down, I think it's just 3. So let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. It's either 3 or 4. It's either 3 or 4. It's either 3 cards or 2 cards underneath, and I can't quite remember, but I think it'll come back to me. So we've got 1 through 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then columns 1 and 2 is the different family members. Columns 3 and 4 is the friends. And 5 and 6 is the work associates. Seems to be interesting, actually. Okay. So row 1, quality of the relationship with the main character. So we're going to do this. I wonder if I'm doing this sort of wrong. No. There is an option to do day 10 first. I did day 10 on day 2, I believe. It was on video 2 or 3. So that's the second row. The third row. And then the fourth row, card 7. Well, that's the third row. There's some more space that needs to be happening over here. 1, 2. Still here. 3, 4. Oh my gosh, I have no room. 5 and 6. Okay. And then we've got 7, 8, and 9. So we'll do this, and do this, and do that. Okay. So I've got my spreads. My spread is out. Okay. I might have, if you want to probably do all of them going down at the same time, that's probably fine too. I actually did them all across, which probably, I might have done that a little bit differently because all the cards all say 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1A, 2B, or I'm sorry, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6. So instead of going down, I went across. But again, this is just an example. Probably would have been better to go straight down, but we're gonna go for it this way for now. Okay, so number 1 is the quality of the relationship with the main character. So we've got 2 family members. And I actually think I know why I kind of messed this up. Not really messed this up, but like, I think I know what I did something wrong, kind of. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the very top ones are actually going to be the signifiers for these characters. So the first 2, like I said, are the family members. So we've got a Youth of Swords and a 5 of Wands. So I think that there is a family member, a little brother, who is very smart, whereas Sage is very passionate, full of fire. A little brother, something like that. We do have a 5 of Wands here. I don't have any directions. It's probably on the website that I'm going to be linking actually below. So maybe these first 3 should have been more signifiers, but it's totally fine. So 5 of Wands. I think the 5 of Wands is even a younger character because 5s are all about conflict. And I feel like I'm getting kind of a toddlerish vibe from this family member. I'm not really getting any parents though, which is kind of interesting. Usually I get kind of parents from these kind of things, but he's obviously, Sage is trying to come out, and he feels guilty about being gay. But we've got a smart younger child, smart younger brother, and a toddler. Interesting. We're going to see where that goes. So then we've got different friends. And I'm going to flip these around because we're not going to, I have a couple of reversed cards, but we're not going to use the reversals for the dynamic cast, or at least for the signifiers. So for one of his friends, he's actually got the Sage of Pentacles. And it's an older man. Oh, sorry, I should show you guys these. So the Youth of Swords, a a younger boy who's very smart. He seems to be having computers, very computer oriented. And then we have the Five of Wands. And like I said, there's fives are all about conflict. And so I feel like there's a toddlerish situation going on with this. And I'm not quite sure where that's going to go yet. So now for the friends, we've got a Sage of Pentacles. I kind of feel like this is an older gay friend. Like, he seems to be kind of well in his ways. He seems to have lived a life, pretty content with where he's at. Probably someone that that Sage, our main character, strives to be. But he's just scared because he's one of the younger gays. Does that make sense? If that makes sense. So we have another friend when we have Justice here. Maybe a lawyer, cop, somebody about fairness. Maybe this is an activist, someone who actually is for gay rights. And maybe he has two friends, one friend that's like kind of like done fighting and one friend that's totally fighting. And maybe he's just kind of maybe Sage feels like he's being caught in the middle and he's not sure if he should fight a good fight or if he's too scared to fight. That's just kind of some options that we have there. So then we have some work associates. And like we've discovered, Sage likes to bounce around a lot. He doesn't stay in one city too long, or in even one job for too long. But we have the Ten of Cups and a Magician. So one of these characters, one of these coworkers is pretty done. He's got his career, he's got a family, he is working, loves his family, loves his career. And the other one is the Magician. And I kind of feel like this Magician is probably like that friend that knows everyone. This is probably how Sage has been able to get his job a little bit. It's a coworker, but obviously this is a coworker that keeps giving Sage new opportunities, which he probably shouldn't. But he's being the Magician. He keeps making things happen for Sage. And maybe he's making Sage follow him around a little bit, something of that nature. I don't know. But let's see where that kind of goes with this thing. Okay, so row 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. That is what is the quality of the relationship with the main character. So we're going to go back to the little brother who is smart. Got a computer situation going on. So we've got the Man of Wands. It's a positive. It is a positive relationship. I feel that maybe because of the baton and the cop thing, the cop uniform, maybe this youth guy doesn't know that Sage is gay, and he keeps saying like inappropriate gay terms or inappropriate gay jokes, and he doesn't mean to accuse Sage, or he doesn't think before he talks, kind of a thing. So I kind of wonder if there's kind of like a verbal passive aggressiveness between them, but the card is upright, and all these cards are actually upright. So Sage has a lot of positive relationships in his life. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that. So from the second one, we've got the Eight of Pentacles. Now the Eight of Pentacles is a perfectionist card. The Five of Wands was the kid, the toddler. I actually think that this is still a positive thing. This is kind of what I'm getting from this. Okay, so children are innocent. And I feel like that maybe Sage wants to go back to his childhood, to where everything was perfect. He didn't have to worry about where he was going to go to work, who he was going to be when he's going to grow up. Didn't have to worry about being shunned for being gay. Didn't have to worry about coming out. So I kind of feel like maybe there's a little bit of jealousy with his little brother or sister. I don't know if there's a sex, which sex this is right now. But that could also be just like through character development. So I kind of feel like that it is a positive, but I feel like there's a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of he thinks that it could also go both ways. Maybe the little kid who is a little troublemaker thinks that Sage has a better life, like kind of a thing. But it says what the quality of the relationship with the main character. I'm going to go actually more the second half of that, only because it says the quality of the relation with the main character. So this is more about the dynamic cast. So if we do that, I think the little kid who's a pill. I think that this child thinks that Sage is like the gay uncle, the awesome uncle, the perfect uncle in every way, likes to hang out, likes to be friends with it. That's what I'm kind of getting from this character. So with 3 and 4, again, it's the same thing. So we've got the Sage of Pentacles. The relationship is the Youth of Pentacles, which is interesting. So the Youth of Pentacles is kind of like the Page. Sage, Page, very interesting. I think that, you know what? I think that he, our older gentleman friend, thinks that Sage has his youth. He is a youthful kid. He is a youthful guy. He has his whole life ahead of him. So I don't want to say he's jealous, but he kind of wishes this guy, his older friend, kind of thinks Sage would get out of his own butt and just know that he does have a whole life ahead of him, whereas he did not. He went through the AIDS crisis. He saw his friends all die, whereas Sage is younger, and there's technology has given a better approach to drugs and stuff to help people live longer. So I think that he wants Sage he thinks that Sage, he's a whole life ahead of him, kind of a thing. So 4, again, we've got a justice guy. And we don't know what he is yet. We don't know if it is a cop or a judge or a jail person, something about making things even. Oh wait, we did say it was a guy that was wanting to get rights, which actually kind of makes sense. We have the Emperor, which is kind of stuck in his ways. He's a man, and he likes to come at things not necessarily from a caring point of view, but a very structured point of view. So if this is our friend and this person is chasing after equal rights, I think that with this picture, we've got a stage, and I kind of feel like this is the friend, and this friend would like Sage to be on the stage with him at the same time. So maybe this friend is actually pressuring Sage to get out there and, walk gay pride when he's not even out yet. And maybe he's kind of pushing him outside of his comfort zone a little bit. Obviously, it's a positive relationship, obviously, but it's also kind of a touchy subject. Pushing him in the right direction just to kind of help him, but it's obviously Sage is backing off and he wants to go find an easier way out. So we're going to go with 5 and 6. We've got the work associates. We've got the 10 of Cups again. We've got the guy that is really awesome with what he's got. He's got his job, his kids, his work life. Everything seems to be perfect. So his relationship is the Youth of Cups. I kind of think that maybe this guy, this coworker, kind of sees the struggle and can emotionally connect with Sage. We got the Youth of Cups again. That's like a page, and like they're learning, and I just kind of feel like there's like an innocence about him that he sees in Sage. Like he sees the innocence in Sage, and that's through his emotions. Maybe he's an empath. He's feeling the same. He's feeling Sage's emotions through that. If that makes any sense to some of you guys. So now number 6. We've got the last coworker. Again, this is the guy that can make things happen all the time. He's the guy that's helping Sage constantly, not learning his lesson as a boss or whatever. We got the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is like, it's an emotional card, but I feel like it's more of a steady emotional card. So obviously, Sage isn't steady though. So I want, well, this guy's obviously steady. He's got money, he's glittering, he's glamoring, he's got the money, he's got the means to be able to help Sage out, even though he keeps messing up. So I think that maybe he's coming at it from a more, I don't know, like maybe he's babying him too much. Maybe he's actually not helping him. Maybe he's not, if he would back away and let Sage grow up a second, maybe there wouldn't be as much for him to worry about, and maybe Sage would actually grow up a little bit, if that makes sense. Maybe that's the person who's going to help. Maybe once this guy backs off and says, you know what, I can't help you anymore, he might take a chance to be able to like put himself first and start doing those kind of things. So that's kind of what we've got there. So now we've got the B ones. And this is what the character loves about the main character. So, row 2. What the character loves about the main character. So again, we've got the Youth of Swords, smart guy, who seems to be making inappropriate jokes a lot. But it's still a very positive relationship. He wouldn't care if he was gay or not. He seems to have doesn't think before he makes the jokes kind of a thing. So what does he think about Sage? We got revelation. I think that maybe he knows that Sage is hiding something. And he thinks it, I think that he knows that Sage is hiding a question or hiding a answer. And Sage, he wouldn't care what it is. He just knows that something is bothering him, and he really kind of wishes that Sage would come to him for help. But obviously, Sage doesn't quite feel that comfortable because he keeps getting verbally beat up by his inappropriate jokes. So I kind of feel like he's a little bit more in tune with his older brother. So again, we've got the Five of Wands, which is the little toddler, and the toddler thinks that gay uncle, Gunkle, which doesn't know that he's gay yet, is awesome, is perfect. He's a perfectionist. There's also some seclusion in this, with being always wanting your clocks to be perfect, always wanting to make something perfect, or something kind of like being a pro at something. You've had a lot of practice. So I kind of wonder if this little kid thinks that he's cool, but also is like the perfect uncle kind of a thing. But I digressed a little bit because we want to know what the little toddler loves about the main character. And got the Four of Cups reversed. I'm going to say there's something about Sage and his emotions that he's able to be raw with the little kid. He's able to be a little bit more open with the kid and not be as structured with his emotions and keeping them to himself. He's able to actually, this guy is actually talking to people, but this is reversed. But obviously these are all adults. So I wonder if there's like a childish charm to Sage, and that's why he's able to talk to the little kid, and that's why the kid thinks that he's like the perfect uncle kind of a thing. So we're going to go to the next one. We've got the older gentleman, the friend, who thinks that Sage has his whole life ahead of him. And what he loves about the main character, self-hatred reversed. Oh, sand on here. I don't know. Sage doesn't feel comfortable coming out, and he does hate himself for being gay. So what could he have? It's self-hatred. Maybe he's blocking self-hatred. Maybe he knows how Sage is feeling and what he's going through, but Sage is not opening up to him. So maybe Sage has actually blocked this. And that's what the character loves. That's not what he loves about him, though. That's kind of odd. Maybe there's a freedom in Sage with everything else other than his sexuality. Maybe he loves everything else about himself. He loves that he's been able to get jobs from this magician guy. He loves that he's been able to travel. He loves that he has the free sense of spirit. He loves that he's been able to do things that he's wanted to do. Maybe he never had that opportunity as a younger man. He never was able to travel and do all the experiences that Sage has been having. And so maybe that's why he loves him so much. Maybe that's what he loves about him, even though he still hates himself for being gay. Maybe he's been able to separate that kind of thing and been able to kind of put that in a box kind of a thing. So again, we've got the other friend who is fighting for gay rights, and he is trying to help Sage come out of the closet a little bit, kind of pushing him to get more of the center stage a little bit. Well, I mean, I know it's a positive relationship, but we've got strength reversed. So I kind of feel like this guy, like, yes, it's a positive relationship, but I feel like this guy actually likes that Sage is weaker than him. That sounds bad, but maybe he's one of our foils or one of our bad guys, one of our people that is not that great for Sage to be around. Maybe he's pushing him too much. That could be something to think about. So now we've got the co-workers. We've got the Ten of Cups and the Magician. So what does the Ten of Cups guy love about Sage? And we've got the Five of Pentacles. I think we can do both of this here. I know that a reaction or a defense mechanism sometimes is helping people to not think about yourself. So I kind of wonder if the Ten of Cups loves that that Sage is willing to help other people before he helps himself. And that might be why Sage is not dealing with the things that he needs to be dealing with. That's kind of what I'm getting from that card. So then the Magician loves, well, okay, so there's something going on with the Magician because we've got the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is obviously a giver and a receiver. So obviously this guy is going to be the Magician and this guy is going to be Sage. So maybe with every job the Magician gives to Sage, like, he loves that he's helping him. Maybe he wants to help him do better in life. And maybe that's his calling. Maybe that's what he's wanting to do. And maybe he's just totally willing to throw his money away because he's obviously got money to spend. He's obviously has sparkly stuff all over the place. So that could be something to kind of go there. Maybe he's found his sorry case. He found his not security case. His there's a word I'm looking for and I can't think of it right now. Basket case. He's found his basket case that he can just keep giving money to and making himself, maybe he's depressed, making himself feel better about himself. So that's something to kind of ponder about that. So then we got C, the row 3, which I wrote this all down wrong, but I got it now. So C, the third row, is what about the main character annoys this character? So now we've got the Sage. Well, Sage is who he is. We've got the Youth. We know that he's making some really inappropriate jokes. We know that he knows that Sage is hiding something. So what annoys Sage? So we got the Nine of Wands. So what annoys the Youth guy, his little brother, is that he he's drowning his sorrows away without talking to someone. He's doing things that are not Sage is doing things that are unhealthy for him, and it annoys him that he's not making the right decisions to make his life better. As for the little kid, we've got the little troublemaker. We have the Two of Wands, and it's reversed, actually. So what annoys this person? which is so weird because we've been getting a lot from the five. We've been getting that the five looks up to him, that he's able to be very emotional with him. But this is the Two of Wands, and usually the Two of Wands is like you've sent something out into the universe. Like if you turn it upside down, he's a gardener. He's gardened, so he's waiting for his plants to grow. So, but this is reversed. So maybe he's not as open. Maybe he's open, but he's not as open as he wants him to be, kind of a thing. Maybe there's something that he's making. Maybe there's something like kids can always tell when a parent is trying to, not always, I don't know, I'm not a parent or anything, but kids sometimes tell when a parent is trying to protect them from something. So maybe even though he likes his uncle, he likes Sage, and he looks up to him, maybe he knows that Sage is protecting him from something, and it bothers him that they can't communicate about that one thing, if that makes sort of some sense. So then we've got the third one. We've got the older man, and what annoys the older man about Sage? We've got the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is kind of setting things up. It's right side up. It's not reversed, but it's usually like a studying or just starting a new project. Maybe Sage starts too many projects, and because he's always working around, he's never able to finish a project. Maybe that's what annoys him. He's always able to like half paint, but he's never able to finish a full project. And he just wants Sage to kind of get grounded because Sage keeps moving around, so he's never able to actually finish what he says he puts his mind to, or what he's going to do. So then we've got the Justice person, who obviously is beating him up a little bit and taking advantage of his friend. What annoys this Justice person about what Sage does that annoys him is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords, this is a decision card. You have to make a decision mentally, either this way or this way. And obviously this person is meditating over it. I think that maybe this is where Sage is stuck. He can never make a decision to either like go to gay pride and be on the gay float with Justice Boy, or he'll just stay over there where he won't make the decision to come join it. And he's just kind of staying away from the gay life to kind of learn about it, kind of a thing. Maybe he's not making the decision for himself to come be a part of all this show. And it annoys him that he can't get Sage to come with him on his journey, on his crusade to fight for gay rights. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but that's where we figure out, that's where we're it's a good starting point. So then we've got the coworkers. Again, we've got the guy who has a lot of money, but he's very comfortable. He's chosen to stay in one place. He's very grounded. He has a family. So what annoys him about this? What does Sage do that annoys him? We've got the Guide of Cups, which is interesting because we have the Youth of Cups here that we had before about what he loves, the quality of the relationship. So obviously there's like a youthful relationship with him. Maybe he's a little bit too emotional. Maybe there's some emotions that he's not processing, and he comes at things from a little bit too nice of a standpoint, and he kind of puts his best thoughts for other people, which kind of makes sense because of the Five of Pentacles. He's willing to help anybody before he helps himself. So maybe he's just kind of throwing his emotions around, and that's why he's also drinking a lot at the pub. And so Sage is drinking a lot at the pub and not talking to people about what he's truly feeling. So maybe he's actually not, maybe Sage is not telling our friend, his coworker, how he truly feels, or is accepting how he truly feels, kind of a thing. So now we've got the Magician, who keeps helping Sage get jobs and likes to give him money, feels like he's doing the best thing for him. What annoys him? We got the Ace of Wands, and it's reversed. So I actually wonder if anybody gets down to this last point in like these. I've been doing this for 35 minutes. I'm surprised if anybody watches this entire video. There's a fire that's not out, that's not being lit in Sage. Maybe Sage is not thankful for everything that this guy has done for him. He is this, Sage is his basket case, but Sage is also not being thankful for, or is blocking his thanks for what he's done for him, kind of a thing. And that might be something that's annoying, but that's annoying for Sage to do. That makes Sage a lot childish than I thought it was originally. So now we've got cards 7, 8, and 9. And 7 is the relationship between cards 1 and 2. So we have the Youth of Swords and the Five of Wands. Again, we've got kind of a smart little brother and a little toddler cousin, someone. I'm not sure. So from those two, we have the Protector reversed. The Protector in this deck is very similar to the Empress. And she's pregnant all the time. She's very motherly. This is reversed though. So I don't know. Obviously, maybe because the Youth of Swords has a little bit more of a mouth on him and he's a little bit more verbal, like doesn't really care, or a little bit more hillbilly. I don't know that I want to go that far, but a little bit more. He's smart, but he's not smart with his jokes. So maybe maybe the little toddler doesn't feel safe around him. It's kind of interesting that there is a toddler and an older gentleman in the card. So that might be something to play around with and see. So then we've got the 8, which is the relationship between the older man and the justice man. And again, we've got a reversed sun. And it's very interesting that they're both kind of they're both old men building almost like defense of what he wants to be built, kind of a thing. Obviously, there's a disconnect between these two. They have different ways of going about how to get gay rights, and they're not working together to be able to get what they want for both sides. It's either extreme right or extreme left, and I think that's kind of where the disconnect is, and that's why Sage is being tossed back and forth. So now we've got the relationship between 5 and 6, which is the coworkers, which again is the 10 of Cups and the Magician. We have the Wheel of Life, and I believe the card was right side up. I put it down when I picked up these other two cards, so I believe it's right side up. So I think obviously these two people are helping him, and they're both knowledgeable that they're both helping him. They both know that they are. They both know each other. They both think that if they keep the wheel turning, that they're helping Sage. But I wonder if actually making the wheel stop, making the Wheel of Life stop for Sage will actually make Sage start the wheel himself instead of letting other people start the wheel for him. So obviously they're working together though. So I feel like that's kind of what we're getting from them. Sorry. So that is day 5. That is creating a dynamic cast. I will take pictures of this and I will post it on my Instagram and make a blog post about it on my website. And I will do that so that you can kind of see what the spread looks like and how I'm visualizing all this. And we'll go from there. So if you've made it this far, 40 minutes into this reading, super cool. And I will be, stay tuned for video 6 for the Gay Pride Tarot story. And follow remember to subscribe if you're really liking this. And if you want to follow all the social medias for me, that would be great too. I guess I will see you next time.